Hello, it's Ms. Cyberling, and today we're going to be thinking about imagery and sensory details. So it's super important to think about the words that we choose, how we structure those words, and creating details that really put our readers in a visceral place with our characters. So both the challenge and the cool thing about writing is that we don't have all the other things that movies have. So we don't have visuals that we get to show someone what to see. We have to show them with our words. We don't have the sound that music brings us. We have to create the sound with our words. So I'm going to take us through today some basic figurative language things to consider and to bring to your writing. And you don't have to bring them all to a piece of writing, but it's pretty helpful to bring some. So we're going to think, this is all from my book, The Young Writer's Fiction Workbook, which is available on Amazon if you're interested. So a simile uses like or as and helps us compare someone or something to another thing. So an example would be, my mother's eyes are deep blue like the ocean. So that is a simile. A metaphor is an expression that describes how someone or something is like something without using like or as. So an example would be, he is the black sheep of the family, or she rules with an iron fist. Personification is when we attribute physical characteristics to something that's inanimate. So something like, my hairbrush has it out for my hair. So that says a lot, and we know that the hairbrush doesn't really have, right, an emotional life inside of it. Hyperbole is when something is exaggerated. So saying something like, I'm going to die if I have to watch my sister play one more soccer game. An oxymoron is when two contradictory words are put together, and it often either expresses a complex idea or it adds humor to a situation. So something like, the silence was deafening. He's clearly confused about what I need in this relationship. So if that feels approachable, use those things. If you're just trying to find a way to add more imagery to your writing, you can focus on your senses. So what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you feel, right? These are all great ways to bring sort of more descriptive words and life and meaning to your stories. So I'm going to read a little tiny paragraph that I wrote that kind of embodies this idea of bringing in sensory details to your writing. The church bell chimed 3 times. Snow poured from the sky. Sylvie couldn't feel her toes, but she didn't care. It was almost Christmas. The smell of cinnamon filled the air from a nearby vendor. A chestnut stuck in Sylvie's molar, her mouth warm and salty. So are you ready to try something to incorporate some figurative and sensory language into your writing? So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get out your computer, a journal, whatever it is that you want to write about, and also have your phone nearby. So I'd like you to look in your gallery of photos and find your most treasured photo. If you have it printed, even better. You don't have to use your phone. So spend a little time looking at this photograph. And then I'd like you to write about the memory of this moment through the imagery in the photo. Use at least one form of figurative language. So a simile, a metaphor, an oxymoron. You could also just focus on the sensory details. So incorporate more of that in your writing, and your readers will be more immersed, more excited, and more connected to your work. And if you're interested in more prompts, more craft exercises, more technique, you can buy my book, The Young Writer's Fiction Workbook, on